What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today is a rest day. We're just taking the dog for a walk, but I thought I would give you a little bit more context as to why I took 8 days off last week, the reasons why, as well as the highlights from yesterday's leg session, because you guys have said you're bored of constantly seeing handstands everywhere, but you know, handstands are kind of my life at the moment. So the main reason I took 8 days off last week was actually because I planned to take 5 days itself. I think I mentioned this briefly in the last video, but I was kind of just feeling run down, and this is kind of an important point I think that not many people think about, is that you do need a time away from training. You need an off season of some kinds. Any professional athletes will have a season, an on season, and an off season, and we don't really have that in recreational sport. Oftentimes it will get built into our just routines because, you know, you go away on holiday for a week or you do something for a week. But a lot of people who do this as a passion and really enjoy doing it don't necessarily give themselves the time off that they actually need. I tend to find that in my own practice, I go for about every 12 to 16 weeks. I try to get people to take a week off. So that generally works out every 2, 3, maybe 4 training cycles. We'll just take a complete week's rest. I do find people tend to bounce back over that week and find they make gains whilst doing nothing, just because they super compensate from all of that work that they've done beforehand. Yes, you can take a deload week. You can reduce the volume by half for that week, and it kind of works in a similar sort of way. But especially with flexibility work, it seems to just work better if you just take the week off and do something else with your life.
It's a nice simple decision. It helps me rest up, recover.
Just, you know, watching myself back on YouTube, I was watching last week's video just because I wanted to have a look through the comments. I always look through all the comments. I don't always have time to reply to them just because now there's comments on like all my old videos as well, so just like keep adding up. So I'm sorry, I would love to reply to everyone, but there would literally be a full-time job. A lot of you asked what I did with my week off and what I was planning on doing. So let me explain a little bit about the activities that I got to on my week off. And as well as why it ended up being 8 days off rather than just 5 as I planned. So one of the things that I do when I do a week off is I try not to do anything related to the sport. The main reason for this is it's a mental break as much as a physical break. Although I love training, and I really do love training, and I love handstands, it's very frustrating, and oftentimes when you're going at something continually and the progress is slow and you just need to keep grinding, and that's great, I'm happy to do that, but sometimes you just need a week off and you need to do other things. One of the things I personally love to do and I've got into in the past year is golf again. For those of you who don't care, I'm sorry. I used to play golf for 4 or 5 years when I was younger. I managed to get down to about 10, I then gave up, and then this last year I started playing again. I'm currently playing off 3. For those of you who care about golf, I freaking love it again. And it's also for me like a time away from work and training and just getting outside and not thinking about those sort of things. I think everyone needs that to some extent. I think oftentimes you can feel guilty for taking a week off or missing a training session, that you feel like you should be doing something, but you know, if you've missed it for you're feeling tired, or if you've taken a week off because you need the rest, then you shouldn't feel guilty. I think this is just kind of a thing we fool ourselves into when it comes to the physical fitness industry. We feel like we should train every day. We see what other people are doing on Instagram. We think we should be doing as much as them. But you know, everyone's different. I wish I had the recovery capacity of Ulrich and I could train 20 hours a week doing handstands, but I just can't. So I have to accept that, and I have to respect my own body. So there's a few different activities that I like to do in the week off. Number 1 is I love to do joint articulations. This is something that I actually try to do every single day. If I do have time, I generally do some, but not always all. And this is generally where you'd go through different rotations of joints, similar to what you might see in FRC, but it's been in practice in many other different things before this point. Do circles of joints, controlled articulation rotations, joint rotations, whatever you want to call it. You're basically doing the biggest circle that that joint can perform, and then you kind of do that for all joints in the body. So you do it for wrists, ankles, knees, hips, neck, spine, all of that sort of stuff. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes each day. It's one of those ones that I find definitely helps with keeping joints healthy, it helps with recovery, and it's a good daily practice to do just to keep flexibility levels at a certain point. I'll link down below to a video by Emmett who kind of goes over some different joint rotations, but there's plenty of information online already. The other thing I like to do is just generally move, and for me, as I said, that was golf, because golf includes a lot of walking. If you play 18 holes of golf, you'll generally end up walking 6 to 7 miles, which is, you know, quite a decent way. So I generally like to walk. I can just walk the dog if I wanted to, or just generally keep moving. There's no reason to stop moving, but at the same time, I'm not fussed to do anything overly intense. The third thing I like to do is saunas and cold showers. Generally a combination of the two. I try to have a cold shower every day. I have done for like the past 4 years. It's just kind of become habit. But one thing I love to do is go to a gym, sit in a sauna for 10 to 15 minutes, sweat it out, and then jump in a cold shower. Literally, you feel like Superman. You feel damn good after that hot-cold combo. If I have time, if I have an extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the end of my session, I will always do a sauna, cold shower combination, but I try to add it in extra on rest weeks simply because I have more time to do it as well. The fourth and final thing is I love to do some relaxed stretching. So stretching is both a mental and a physical thing. That's part of the principle of yoga as well. So although I stretch to be able to do middle splits, front splits, whatever, I also just like to chill out. So although a lot of the time the stretching I do is generally loaded or more intense work, I like to just do some more relaxed stuff, some longer holds, some more breath work, spending some more time in a stretch, and it's just a nice way to chill out. I try to do this every single night before I go to bed, and especially on rest weeks, I'll probably spend a little bit more time doing some super chilled out stretching. But that's basically what happened last week. Now, the intended plan was to do a 5-day of doing nothing, basically, so Monday through Friday, and then start again on Saturday. However, unfortunately, I was in a car accident on this Saturday. Basically, me and my sister were in the car. Caravan came from the opposite side of the road, fell off the back of the car and went into the side of us. So, not ideal. Fortunately enough, nobody was seriously injured. We both had a little bit of whiplash and that sort of thing. So, just to be on the safe side, I took an extra few days off, but I was feeling fine after 3 days, so I jumped back into it. But yeah, that's why it ended up being 8 days off in total. That's quite a long time to have off, but it certainly felt needed. Yeah, now we're back to normal training this week. I've done an upper body and a lower body session, and I'm currently feeling extremely sore all over. I just don't know why the DOMs were so bad. Usually after a week, they're a little bit worse than usual, but these are so bad. I'm in so much pain. Handstands wise felt pretty awesome, even despite the week off. I was expecting to be rusty, but I just felt stronger and balance was basically the same. Definitely felt much better after having the week off. And again, strength was there for the upper body session, but I didn't film that one. And then as I said, I wanted to kind of give you an update of where the lower body session was at yesterday and where the goals are for it for 2019. I do have a couple of lower body goals for this year, and I probably mentioned this before, but I'll reiterate now. Basically, number one is a 200 kg deadlift. I want to get and regain that, so I have that strength there. Plus, I think lifting heavy stuff off the floor is pretty functional to an extent, and I want to work my posterior chain more. It's like I've neglected through bodyweight training for several years, and it's something that's become my attention now in the past 6 months. The second one is to have a double bodyweight squat, which would be about 180 kgs, which would probably mean that my deadlift would be more than 200. But again, I'm fine with that one. So I've done a lot of squatting for the past 3 or 4 months. That's definitely gained up in strength. However, I'm going for a bit of a posterior chain cycle at the moment, so there's lots and lots and lots of deadlifts. First one's first here is some sort of elevated deadlifts working just under sort of patella height, so I can go a little bit heavier, and I'm just focusing on like bracing my core and keeping that active. Another drill I've been using for that is these Podium snatch grip deadlifts, so really working depth and then also adding 8-second pauses at incremental points, 3 incremental points on the way down. Again, I'm just focusing on using my TBA to brace my core, create my own weight belt, which is something that, you know, I'm not necessarily good at. I need to work on more. So I'm kind of focusing on that, learning how to brace my core more so I can then lift more in the future without the reliance on weight belts and the like. So that was kind of really the bulk of my workout, because I was like 9 sets of deadlifts in total. And then I ended up finishing up with a little bit of hamstring curls. There's no particular reason that I'm using a single leg hamstring curl here. It's simply that I forgot the other ankle strap that I do have. And because I don't have a lying leg curl machine at the gym, this is the only option. But just doing some higher rep hamstring curl here to some more capacity stuff. As I said, a lot of posterior chain. I've neglected this through doing bodyweight training for a while, and I regret doing so, and I'm kind of having to play catch up now. But it's definitely feeding into the strength in numerous other ways. Just having more lower back strength is making other things easier, which is actually sort of proven in scientific literature as well. Another one is this Poliquin Step Up. A lot of this workout is very much Poliquin inspired, but this step up in particular is just for the VMO, teardrop muscle on the quad. So it's a good quad exercise. I'm just doing some higher rep stuff, quick rep stuff, just to feed in. I don't want too much muscle damage after all those deadlifts and hamstring curls. But yeah, basically that's kind of legs at the moment. This will be my plan for the next 4 to 6 weeks, I think. Probably whilst I can, as much as I can when I'm in America. And yeah, hopefully we can get some decent deadlift gains. that has basically been it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It seemed like a little bit of an update video, just kind of, I've had a lot going on preparing for America, so I haven't necessarily had time to do a full training vlog, but I'm determined to go back to a full proper series when I go back to America. I'm just deciding what I want to work on that series for, so if you have any suggestions, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, or if you just have any other thoughts and opinions on this episode, I'd love to hear them. Whilst you're down there, you can also hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. Right next to it is that subscribe button if you can join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe. But that's been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week, and peace.